eternal science. Eternal science, this is not only scripture or essence of it, it is the eternal science, nobody can challenge it. Sanatana Dharma. In this 12th chapter, the Yoga of Devotion, we have seen all the divine qualities ought to be expected to be in the great devotee of the absolute God, truth, which is none other than Lord Krishna himself. He is the representative of the nameless, formless truth, with a form, with a name, and with a plan to bring balance, harmony in the nature which is going to be much disturbed, imbalanced state. So, the commander of the nature, instructor, commander of the nature has to keep balance, and that is the Lord incarnated in the form of Lord Krishna, and he gives all the queries, answers to all the queries of Arjuna, and all the darkness of ignorance is wiped out from the heart and mind of Arjuna, so that he will be an instrument in the hands of the Almighty, and he will do the needful. So, before going to battle, just as the soldiers, they examine their weapons, whether they are working properly or not. Lord Krishna wants to examine the state of instrument Arjuna in his hand, whether he is ready to be a proper instrument in his hand or not. So in the very beginning of this discourse, 12th, Arjuna had some question. He asked Lord Krishna, after seeing the cosmic form of Lord Krishna, when he comes to his sense, he asked this question, O Lord, of course, Lord Krishna explained that cosmic form which is very rare for a devotee to see. Only Arjuna could have that vision of the cosmic form. Not easily any other devotee could have it. So Arjuna is special something, special devotee. And Lord Krishna explained how he is the director, commander, and the all in all instructor and everything, how he creates by the help of his nature all these innumerable creations, and he sustains it and he destroys it also, just as a farmer. He sows the field after making ready the field. He sows the seeds and he does everything for the crop to grow and fences it from every side, protects it, supplies all the needs for the growth of the crop, and then in the end, when the crop is ready for harvesting, it harvests it, means it destroys the crop. The same farmer is the creator, sustainer, caretaker, and in the end the destroyer. Without destruction, there is no question of construction. First of all, we have to make the foundation ready. For that we have to dig the soil, do everything whatever is needed. Then only we can set the foundation. And over that the building will get up. In this way, these creations are created by him. He is the greatest farmer, and he is the protector, and he is the destroyer also. That is what he showed in the 11th chapter in the cosmic form, how in the form of all-consuming eternal time he destroys everything. Kalosmi lokakshayakrit prabuddha. I am the eternal time, all-consuming time, which swallows everything, which destroys everything. The same time creates, protects, and destroys. Everything is in the eternal time. So then Arjuna had the question natural. He asked the question, O Lord, you said a great devotee with heart and soul, faith and devotion, one-pointed mind, one who is dear to you, he can only see such cosmic form. I have a doubt whether a devotee with devotion to names and forms, of course with one-pointed devotion, who worships you in all ways, by all means, whether he is greater or the wise man, realized soul, who has realized the truth, imperishable truth, eternal truth, without names and forms, by his knowledge, by casting off all the names and forms of the creation, who is always one-pointedly established in the knowledge of the absolute truth, which is existence absolute and awareness, knowledge absolute and bliss absolute, Who is better between the two? This was his natural question. So इधर आ जाओ. अंग्रेजी समझ में आता है? हाँ सुनो. So he put this question to Lord Krishna. As a result, Lord Krishna answered to Arjuna in neutral way. He didn't give importance to one of the two, but he gave the common qualities which ought to be in a person who is devoted to the absolute Lord by all means. Because we are all the beings who is in the relative world with a body, mind and intellect, etc., who has a prana, the vital energy, who is called prani, who has a body, who is deha, who is called dehi, prani. He should have all these divine qualities which leads one to the absolute oneness with faith and devotion. He is better. He is dear to me. So, in this 12th chapter, Lord Krishna explained neither a devotee with worshipping the names and forms, nor the yogi who has realized the truth without names and forms. Nobody is better or worse, but a devotee with one-pointed devotion who is equipped with all these divine qualities. These qualities are nothing but one-pointed mind only. अरे ये कैसे है? कैसे? कोई खींचा उसको? है? जा रहे थे कहीं. So, such a person endowed with all these divine qualities is dear to me, whether he worships names and forms or he worships the absolute truth without names and forms. That doesn't matter. In a neutral way he gives the answer. And thus he has given 8 stanzas. He to whom censure and praise are equal. He is never perturbed by praises or censure. Who is silent always. He has no opinion, positive or negative, on anything. He is always silent, neutral, indifferent towards the outside world, contented, always content, who is ever satisfied with whatever he possesses, who has no desire, then only he will have contentment, who has no attachment. All these qualities lead you to contented mind, who needs nothing. So such a person also will have no attachment for any abode, any home. He becomes homeless. The whole world is his home, and whole world is his family. All the beings are the members of his family. Such a person, universal person, of a steady mind, he only will not be perturbed by gain or loss, and who has no home. No home means no small particular identical home, but whose home is the whole universe. Such a person is the person who is dear to me. So in this way Lord explained to Arjuna, and in the end he says, Ye tu dharmyamritam idam yathoktam paripasate Shraddhadhana mat parama bhaktaste tiva me priya. They are so very dear to me, who follows all these injunctions I have given to you, who possess all these divine qualities. They verily who follow this immortal dharma. Dharma means law or doctrine. This is the doctrine of the nature. He is the best, whose thoughts means mind and speech and actions coincide with each other. They don't differ from each other. That is one-pointed mind. It coincides with his speech and his actions. He has no crookedness within. He is so simple. He is open to one and all. He has nothing to hide, nothing to open. He is free to express anything and everything, whatever is needed, whatever is the demand of the time and situations. Such a person who follows all these doctrines of the nature as described above in all these stanzas, endowed with faith regarding me as the supreme goal, they, the devotees, are exceedingly dear to me, extremely, specially, by all sense, they are dear to me. And not only dear to me, they are one with me always. They are not different from me. The Blessed Lord has in this verse given a description of his excellent devotee, Amrita Dharma. Amrita Dharma is the life-giving nectar. Dharma is righteousness or wisdom. Dharma is that which leads to immortality when practiced in the life. The real devotees regard me as their final or supreme refuge. Above means in the beginning in the verse 13 and up to 19th. A great truth that should not go unnoticed is that the devotee, the man of wisdom, and the yogi have all the same fundamental characteristics. They are not different from each other, but only the terms are used differently. The paths may be different, just as the mountaineers, they climb the peak, reach the peak by different paths. From foothills, they adopt different tracks. Some go zigzagly, some go by some vehicles, some go by walk, by straight. There, of course, the straight climbing, direct climbing may have dangerous some pits or some paving stones or some thorny bushes or wild animals. They may disturb you in the way, but in the end, one who continues his effort, he has to reach the peak sooner or later. So who comes to the peak, he is the winner. So adopt any path you like. Slowly, when they come near to the peak, they lose their differences and they come nearer to each other, and in the end, on the peak, they reach the same point. So in this way, Lord explained, Arjuna, the goal is point of consideration. It is not the path what you have adopted. A great truth that should not be unnoticed is that the devotee, the man of wisdom, and the yogi, all these are different terms only, have all the same fundamental characteristics. They should have one-pointed mind. Priyo hi jnaninat artham. I am exceedingly dear to the wise man. In chapter 7, 17th sloka, Lord said like this, has thus been explained at length and concluded here thus, Te ativa me priyaha, they are exceedingly dear to me, who have wisdom at the same time all these divine qualities. He who follows this immortal dharma, as described above, becomes exceedingly dear to the Lord. Therefore, every aspirant who thirsts for salvation and who longs to attain the supreme abode of the Lord should follow this immortal dharma with zeal and intense faith, with unshaken faith. Immortal dharma, Sanatana dharma. This dharma is a very complicated word. We have to understand somehow or other what is called dharma. Dharma is nothing but law and order. But that law and order, what do you think? Is it always the same? the rules for a child differs from the rules of a youth, differs from the rules for a patient and old man. Rules and regulations, they are always changeable. So what is really called a rule, if it changes, similarly the world also is ever changing. And when you say that world is perishable and it is momentary, everything changes, so rules also should change, and that does change. So how to follow, what is to be followed? It is the most important point to be understood. Of course, the rules change from time to time. You know, all the rules have amendments everywhere, and in all these democratic countries they have constitutions, and always they will have amendments according to the time and situation and the places. The same rule is applied in one place and it differs in other places. City rules will not be applicable in the rural villages. No, the traffic rules are never applied in the schools or in the houses. So rules have always changes. So how to decide what to do and what not to do? There is a famous story. Are you going to hear it?
Yes.
Oh. I have always this exemplary story I have repeated several times so that at least it will set up in the minds. There was a king and he was very good ruler. He was always trying to do good to the subjects, the citizens of the kingdom. But because he was so sincere, he always tried to do what is right. So he had a question, what is my duty? What is dharma? Naturally everybody will have. So he tried to get the answer from many wise people. He will have, all the kings always have wise persons around them to clear out the doubts all the time. Our Vikramaditya had Navaratna, isn't it? Bhojaraja has all the 9 great wise people around him. So all the kings almost, they have such wise people around them to decide in the critical times what is right and what is wrong. So this king also went on putting this question to all the great people, his wise old ministers who always help him to do the right things for the people. But of course everybody gave some answers according to their knowledge. but it didn't appeal to the king. He could not get the right answer. Always he was worried. The question was, what is my duty? To whom is my duty? And at what time I have to perform my duty? Because the rules change every time according to time, situations and conditions. The duty changes. So what is my duty? Towards whom should I perform my duty? And in what time, at what time? See, your duty at the morning differs from the evening duties, isn't it? Routine work, daily routine work, it changes from time to time. Person to person, a child should do something towards his parents and something else towards his brothers and sisters and something else towards his friends and something else in the school. He has so many different rules. In school he has to observe some school rules, and in the road while coming back to his home he had to observe the traffic rules. He cannot run in the middle road. He will meet some accidents. So he has to change the rules according to time, according to situations, according to the conditions. So what is my duty? Always he was worried. Nobody could give some solid answer, clear answer to him. He was always mentally worried. What is my duty? What is my duty? So in the end, he was unable to eat properly, sleep properly. So in the end, an old minister advised him, O king, when you are not satisfied with all the answers of great people around you, I have some idea. There is in the forest an old wise man. He lives away from the cities and in the jungle all alone, and he is considered to be a great wise man. He can answer your questions if you can go and meet him. But one condition is there. He never meets the great people as VIPs, as kings or rich men or other leaders, etc. Just as Socrates, he didn't like to meet such great people. He was always talking to the ordinary common people. And you know the story of Socrates? Once he didn't like to meet great people. And of course he was admired by many people to be a great wise man, and he used to advise all the common people what is right, what is wrong, what to be done, what should not be done. So everybody was admiring him. This information came to the king of Athens, so he wanted to meet Socrates. But he knew Socrates doesn't like it. But yet, I am the king. So with that ego, he went and tried to meet Socrates. Socrates was doing something savvy and short person, and always having dirty clothes, ordinary common man like. And he was doing some teaching something or doing something, and always attentive to his work. The king comes and stands before him, but Socrates didn't like to look at him. Instead of giving honor to the king, he didn't even look at the king, and he was engaged in doing his work. It was offending to the king. He was annoyed. So after a little while, the king shouts at Socrates, "Socrates! Don't you know I am the king of Athens? I have come to meet you. You are dishonoring me. Even you don't like to look at me. Don't you know I am the king of Athens?" Even then Socrates didn't look at him. He was engaged in his work. Second time, he shouts at Socrates, "Socrates! You are going out of your track. I am the king of Athens. I have come to meet you." Second time also Socrates didn't look at him. Third time when he shouts with anger, takes out the sword, "Don't you know I am the king of Athens?" He looks at the king with a smile and says, "Oh, king of Athens, can you tell me?" He spread a world map, small world map. "Can you tell me where do you stand here?" That was enough to bring down the king from his ego. He fell at his feet. Now I understand. I have nothing in this world. Similarly, this king also was warned that old man in the jungle, he doesn't like to meet great people. So king decided, never mind, I will go as an ordinary person. I will not go there with ego as a king. So he took, of course, all the subordinates and all his army, everything, and in the midst of the forest, he stopped everything, wait here till I come back. He undressed himself and he dressed like an ordinary man and with simple sandals and nothing in the hand, no swords, nothing. He started walking towards the old man just as an ordinary person. He reaches there, it was getting little dark. He went there all silent. One or two huts were there in that area. Nobody was found there. So he went on searching for the old man. The king was searching for the old man, and he saw some old man digging some field there in the corner of that little ashram. He went to him and he thought he must be the person because no others are visible here. He must be the old man, wise man. So he fell at his feet, but the old man didn't look at him. He was just going on digging. And he was sweating, he was tired, the old man. And the king prostrated before him, thinking he is the wise man, and he uttered his question. "O great man, I have come to you with some questions. What is my duty? Towards whom? At what time I should perform my duty? Towards whom my duty is to be done? And what is that duty? What should I do to that person? And what is the time? Time, person, and the form of duty." These three questions I have not got the answer yet. I have come to get the answer from you. Please give me my answers. The old man didn't care to look at the king. He was engaged in his digging work. So the king was waiting for a while, and then he thought, I must help this old person. Let him not answer what is there. I should help him. We went to him and snatched away the powder, what do you call it? The spade. And he asked him, "Come on, rest here. I am a young person. I can do you, I can help you." So he dug the field very nicely, quickly, in no time. And by that time it was getting dark. All of a sudden there was some howling, some noise, terrific noise, and they looked at that side. Some people were shouting, and some people were carrying a wounded person, and he was stabbed in many places in his body, and he was bleeding, he was unconscious. Some people were bringing him for that old man, and both of them, old man and the king, followed the old man. They rushed towards the mob, and those people, they put that wounded person before the old man, and slowly they went back. Everybody went back, and this wounded person was put in a small veranda outside the hut. So the old man started treating the wounded person who was unconscious. He rubbed out all these wounds and his bloods and everything. So the king was following the old man because no other person was there. So the king snatched away all those cotton and bandages, etc., and he was trying to treat the wounded person. And the old man, then and there, went to the bushes and brought some herbs and started grinding it to make some paste. So the king also went and helped him. He made the paste. So the old man was trying to put those paste on the wounds and trying to bandage the wounds. In every action, the king was helping the old man and taking over the work. And when everything was done, the unconscious wounded person was lying down there, and the old man goes and brings a fan, and he started fanning him, sitting near him. So the king said, "Oh, old man, you are tired. Go and rest. I shall do the job. I am a young man. I can do it. I shall take care of this person." Old man goes inside and sleeps. In the morning, whole night the king was fanning the person, and at the break of day, when there was soft sun rays falling at the wounded person, slowly the person opens his eyes. The horse were doing well, reacting properly. He opens his eyes. When that wounded person saw the king, he was fanning him. He understood, "Oh, king, oh." He gets up all of a sudden and falls at the feet of the king. "Oh, king, sorry, I am the culprit. I am your enemy." The king says, "Why? Keep quiet, keep quiet. I am not the king. I am not the king. I am some common person." "No, no, you cannot hide to me. You are the king. You don't recognize me, but I know you perfectly well. You know I am a small landowner somewhere in your kingdom, and always I had tried to fight against you, but every time I was defeated by you, and you forgave me, and this time I wanted to kill you. I had the information you will go without any weapons by walk to this old man. So I was hiding in the bushes in your track to kill you. I had the chance, but alas, your spies could hold me, and they were trying to kill me. But these savages, wild villagers, they came to my risk and they saved me. Somehow I didn't know what happened then. I got unconscious. Now I am seeing you. You are giving life to me. You are my life giver, and I was your killer. Oh, what a shame to me. Please excuse me and accept me as your servant. I surrender to you, my dear king. You are great, really. The king made him silent. Don't talk too much. He embraced him. Never mind, forget the past. Now we are friends. Slowly the old man opens the door and comes out. Till now, the old man didn't open his mouth. He was doing whatever was need of the hour. And king was helping him in every situation. So now he opens his mouth, O king. The old man says, O king, have you got your answers? The king gets astonished. Oh, I am not the king. No, no, I know you. I know you came to me with these questions. I was answering you all the while. Every time you came successful, answering yourself. Did you not understand till now? The king said, Oh great man, I am unable to get my answers. Please explain me. So the old man explains, O king, did you try to consider to whom should you help when you came to me and helped in digging I was doing it purposefully to teach you a lesson. I had no work to dig the land there. And you got the answer, you did the proper thing. Towards whom did you consider then? To whom should I help? You came forward with proper answer to yourself. Whosoever is before you, towards him your duty is to be performed. There is no consideration. Whosoever is at your front, towards him your duty is to be performed. And did you consider whether I shall help him morning at sunrise, that is the proper time, or at midday? Did you consider the time then? Now is the time to help, to do your duty towards him who is with you, before you. Did you understand now? Yes, old man, I have understood. Did you consider what should I do? You dug the field at that time, and now after that you helped me in bandaging the wounds of the unconscious man, and you tried to fan the person. That was your duty, to help an old man and as well as the wounded person. That was your duty. Did you consider what should I do? That was then not there. You did what is to be done. So now did you get the answers? Whosoever is before you, towards him is your duty. And now is the time to do your duty, not long afterwards. When the proper time comes, no time. Now is the time. And the situation, the demand of the situation, you have to fulfill. That is your duty. Why you are so much worried about time and the person and the type of duty you should have to do? All these are foolish questions. Now is the time. And the fulfillment of the demand of the time situation is your duty. And whosoever is before you, towards him is your duty. Did you understand now? The king falls at his feet. Old man, I have got my answers. Now this is called duty. Duty changes from time to time, from situation to situation, but you should have common sense to decide what is your duty. It is not written in constitutions. The same question was put to Dharmaraj Yudhishthira by the Yaksha in Mahabharata. The story comes. What is dharma? What is dharma? Dharma kya? The question was क्या सही क्या गलत, वही तो संस्कृत में है ना. The question was put by the Yaksha, some strange person. It was the time god who wanted to test Yudhishthira, and he put the questions. Dharmaraj Yudhishthira answered, Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. What is dharma? He said, the secret of dharma is hidden in the heart of hearts. When you can hear your inner voice, you know what is your right duty to be done. We sometimes overhear it, we don't hear the inner voice. Always there is warning. If you are going to do something wrong, the inner voice obstructs you, warns you, don't do such thing. But you overhear it and do some mischiefs. One who is able to hear the inner voice, he will never do anything wrong. So the secret of all the duties are there in the heart of hearts. It is not in the constitution of your government. There is no need of any amendments. It is always amended. Everything is there, ever ready to warn you what is your duty. So this is how the duty is to be understood, and one who follows his duty, does his duties, he attains the absolute salvation, absolute goal of life. He rests in eternal peace. Nothing remains to be achieved for him. Nothing remains to be done by him. All the end of all the duties. So in this way, Lord Krishna explains to Arjuna, and the chapter 12th. Thus in the Upanishads of the glorious Bhagavad Gita, the science of eternal, this scripture of yoga, Yoga Shastra, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna ends the 12th discourse entitled The Yoga of Devotion. Now in the 13th chapter we shall see tomorrow the yoga of the distinction between the field and the knower of the field, where from this comes. We were talking about the devotion, who is better, who is worse. All these were discussed in the 12th chapter. Now in 13th chapter, all of a sudden, the yoga of distinction between the field and the knower of the field. What is the meaning? Where from this subject comes in between? Lord Krishna wants to explain here. Arjuna heard the question. When a great devotee who is dear to you and who is equipped with all the divine qualities, one-pointed, unshaken faith and devotion towards you, what knowledge he obtains? What is that knowledge? What he experiences? So to that, Arjuna heard the question. Prakritim purusham jaiva kshetram kshetrajnam eva cha etad veditum ichhami jnanam jneyam cha kesava. O Lord, Kesav, the Lord who sleeps in the water eternally with the essence of life principle hidden in water. Sleeps means he is hidden there in the water as life principle, which unfold in different ways. He is called Kesav. Arjuna wants to know what knowledge ought to be known, which is known by such great devotees who are dear to you. So in that context, he asks Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetram Kshetrajna Eva Cha Etad Veditum Ichhami Jnanam Jneyam Cha Kesava. Arjuna said, I wish to learn about nature, matter, and the spirit, soul, Prakritim, nature, Purusham, the soul, the field and the knower of the field. A field should be, if you want to arrange some drama, there should be a stage, that is called field, a substratum over which everything has to be done. If you want to construct a building, the foundation should be ready first, the plinth. In this way, that is called field. So, it is also Purusha and Prakriti, the nature and the soul. And what is the knowledge which ought to be known? All these we shall see tomorrow. The purpose of the question, what is the question, and how Lord explains everything to Arjuna, what is called knowledge. Tomorrow we shall say Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya. Gita Mata Ki